Hi, and welcome back to our Ask Alice series of the drawing room. So today we're gonna see Alice's collection with a couple of her clocks and all her little teeny portraits. So these portraits are either silhouettes or tiny painted portraits, and they're of course what they used to use before we had cameras and photographs, and these are so wonderful. As a portrait artist myself, I can say that this just really geeked me out. So stay tuned.
So this is actually a tall case clock. It doesn't work because it needs something done to it. And when I bought it, and I had my clock guy come to check out some of the clocks that I wanted him to fix, he said this actually isn't the original top to it. As beautiful as it is, he says, because it would have fit on the top of this pedestal. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't pay $1 million for it, so that's a good thing. But the face of this, I think I can open this. And you can, nope, we're gonna just hold that door. But see how beautiful that face is? It did work for a while, but again, somebody had done something to this and it didn't really last for very long. But it's called a tall case, obviously, because it's tall. And then I'll open this and I'll show you that the weights are actually in here. Wow. But I kind of just bought it for the face and the brass pedestals and the cut work up on the top. Mm-hmm. So normally these were either 8-day clocks, but a lot of them were 30-hour clocks. These are not the original weights, but you would have had 2 weights, one for the time and one for the chime. This one, I think it chimed on the hour, maybe the half hour, I don't remember. And then obviously the pedestal. So you would wind them up, and then you would just hit this and it would just go, and then when it hit to the bottom of the floor, it was done. You know, you'd have to, so if you wanted it to keep real time, you just have to make sure that you got it wound up. You never really want it to stop. Okay. I have one in my kitchen. It's called an OG clock, and it's a mantle clock, and I have to wind it up every 30 hours. Wow. But I love, if it's not ticking, I feel something's missing, you know? Of course, if I wound them all up. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I would go a little cuckoo. So I just wanted to just bring your attention up to this clock. Again, that's a 30-hour clock. It's not wound, but you can see the 2 places on either side of the clock face where you would wind it for chime and time. And it's called an OG clock, and the reason it's called that is the frame around it is an OG frame. Like you'll see OG mirrors, and that's the frame they have. That's why it's called an OG clock. Huh. It's because of the way it's shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably some sort of veneer, mahogany veneer around it. That's probably from the 1800s. But it's got a really pretty painted glass where you can see the pendulum. Oh, yeah. And again, they all have little pendulums inside of them that you wind up, like little baby ones. Yeah.
Cute.
Not that I don't wind that very often.
Yeah.
So just now we were talking about paneling, and you'll notice I have obviously chair rail and I have baseboard. I think they would have used, I'm guessing that they would have maybe used baseboard because the floors would have been damp, and maybe that dampness would have crawled up onto the walls, but I'm just guessing.
So we're talking horsehair plaster here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and I'm thinking that might have been used as a protection, and maybe, I'm sure the floors were damp, and maybe they were even dirt.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I would think. It would not so much a decorative thing as a kind of a protection thing, but I could be all wrong, but that would be my guess. Chair rails, you know, I don't know. I mean, Maybe they protected the wall as the chairs went up. Had to have been. What else
Oh,
could it
chair rail.
Chair rail. That's what I had to be, right?
Yes.
It was all about protecting the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this piece, I don't really know how old it is, and it is a cupboard, and it had a door at one point. But when I bought it, it did not have a door, and it was actually in my other home. I had navy blue woodwork, so I painted this navy blue. The red, it came with the red inside. I don't think it's original. I think someone painted it, but it was a nice color. When I came here, I painted it to match my woodwork because they did have a lot of built-ins, and I wanted it to look built-in. So that's the story with that being, and then there's.
And it does. I thought it was a built-in.
And I'm thinking that this was all added because to me this looks a little more Victorian, and I think it was just. I think someone put that on to make it look fancier, which is fine for this room. But you know me, I love my primitives, and I think this wasn't on it.
Okay.
They just put it on. And it looks great though.
Yep.
But that was the thing, putting it in here to make it look like it was built in because they needed storage.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to this in a bit.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of different kind of blue ceramic collectibles that I really love, and I want to take some pieces out. I know a lot of you have already seen a couple of the samplers, but they're also here interspersed with these silhouettes. Another thing I love. I love everything. So I even have one I haven't hung up yet because so there's 3 different kinds of silhouettes. There's hollow cut.
Okay.
There's cut out, and then there's one that they were painted and embellished. So the difference like a hollow cut is they cut the silhouette out. They use I guess it's the negative, the other piece, and they put that. They mount it over some other colored paper.
Okay.
Okay. When it's the cutout, it's the little piece that they cut out that's then mounted on paper.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the difference. So a hollow, if you want to know a hollow cut, and you look at it with a magnifier, you'll see the cutout is on top of something. That's the hollow cut. But you really have to look sometimes because sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's on the top or if it's really underneath, or is it painted. So I'm trying to think, like this one. I think it's a hollow cut, and then I think it's embellished with painting.
Oh.
But if you look at her silhouette, she looks like she was a very well-to-do woman.
Yeah.
And normally they weren't embellished. That's almost looks embellished with gold.
It does.
And this is a period frame.
Huh.
And I'll flip it over.
Oh yeah. Wow.
But she's very pretty.
She's very
pretty. You can
pretty.
see her little shawl and her little cap.
Yeah.
And she was easy to tell. Now maybe it's because the paper has colored. It was easy to get the distinction between that black is underneath.
Right.
As opposed to on the top.
Right.
So here's a double one. This was one of my very first one. And again, this is hollow cut. So this is a couple.
Oh, they're cute.
And it's in a cute little. And see the back, old wood?
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, so that one is also a hollow cut. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay. That one's my favorite, one of my favorites. This guy's a nice little guy too. Now this is actually, okay, so this actually has some history on the back of it when I bought it, which I'll read to you, but that's why I like to leave it. So this looks like looks like a well-to-do gentleman, and again, it's hollow cut. Again, because the paper has colored, you can see the distinction. But look at this little piece here. It's like, you can see where his collar was. But this says, shopkeeper, attributed to J.A. Davis, probably Connecticut or Rhode Island, circa 1845. This is watercolor and pencil and wove paper. Oh, well, that tells you how much I don't know. This is one of the painted ones.
Oh my goodness.
Okay then. I gotta do more research. I'll just put that one in. This one I think this one is painted as well. But this is a black lady. And I think they're much more unusual to find.
Huh.
Yeah. So she must have been very dear to someone, I would guess. Maybe a household worker, or I don't know. Because I don't know that the household domestic help would have had money to do this.
Uh-huh.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
You know, this one had some, I don't know, paper on the back of it again. Don't know
interesting.
whether it's just put on the back or if it really is old. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this one is definitely, painted watercolor.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I thought that one was, again, a period frame.
Yeah.
So here are some more silhouettes, and I'm going to say that's a hollow cut. These are a little bit, obviously you can tell by the dress that maybe they're late 1800s. I'm pretty sure that's on porcelain. Mm. And then this one, I think it's hollow cut, but maybe not because I didn't know what the other one was.
That one's painted
And
on
it's
it.
painted with embellishments. So it's either hollow cut, painted with embellishments, or maybe it's all painted without taking it out. I probably would have to look at it with a loupe to see if I can see the paper line there. But again, this one's very similar to the other one with the kind of the gold embellishments in the hair, and look at her collar. So I'm thinking another well-to-do lady. Yeah. A couple of things I did want to point out. Again, obviously there's more silhouettes here. Either, I think they're hollow cut, and this one's painted, but this one is a treasure. I have to take that off the wall.
Take that off and show us. I
So
love that.
I put this in this little frame, which obviously isn't period. These are very, very fine portraits on ivory.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And actually I can turn them over.
Oh.
I want to show you.
Oh,
See the hair?
Hair.
They did that
Oh, man.
as memento. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, that's so cool.
So I'm guessing it was her hair.
Yes.
And then on the back, and I'm assuming they were a couple. I'm assuming.
Sure.
Don't know. And then this just has some kind of gold initials or something on his. So those are probably
And those are turtle doves. That's
so obviously
Forever Love.
Obviously they were a couple. I don't know. These were actually, my husband was an executor of a woman's estate, and she didn't have a lot of personal stuff, but it went to my husband, so I helped him, and I says, I think we might need to take these. And they are a treasure. They were obviously maybe someone in her family.
Yes.
So but the hair.
I love those.
And you just see, I've looked at this a million times and didn't see the turtle doves. So I assume they were a couple.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
We'll just put them here.
Oh my goodness, weren't those the coolest things? I love her collection, especially the ones with the little lock of hair and the turtle doves. I mean, oh wow, this was so cool. So in the next part of the series, we're gonna go to all of her dishes in the corner there and check them out. I love plates. I'm so excited, and I know you guys will love it too. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.